The Avengers. That's what we call ourselves. Earth's mightiest heroes type thing.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Established 1982 podcast, the Geek Culture podcast hosted by responsibly irresponsible adults that have loved video games, comic books, movies, and TV ever since 1982. I'm Analog, and I'm joined by my resident elitist gatekeeper of civility and order, Mr. 1%, Rolls Royce Elite.
Yes, sir.
In the building. And we're in the end game now. Can I use that? Can I use the phrase?
It's a little during this time it's a little touchy. Hey. Little touchy.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. This is the Avengers, the Avengers, Marvel Avengers video game.
Yes.
Review. And
go vote though. Go vote. We're in the end game now, so go vote.
Oh, I was trying not to go there, but
yeah,
yes,
no, but it's important. Go vote.
Yeah, that is true.
Go vote. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yes, many of you right now listening or watching or whatever you're doing as far as consuming this podcast are probably in rows of early voting.
Yes.
Go vote.
Yes, put your mask on.
Home,
in person. Yeah.
Put your mask on and vote.
Yeah, if you can go to the grocery store, you can press some buttons with a stylus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you
can throw the stylus away.
You can go to your son's high school football game, you can go vote.
Yeah.
If you can go watch football in the sports bar, you can go vote. Yeah. Don't want to hear it. And many of you have been going to work every single day because your job is such that you can't work from home. Go vote.
Yes.
So there it is.
Back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yes, that was our established 1982.
You threw the end game out there, so it brought up a lot of feelings.
Yes, but I was referring more so to the iconic line in the movie.
Right. Because I need to hear on your left. That's what I need to hear. That is what I need to hear right now in 2020. On your left.
In order to save America.
Right.
from Thanos. Oh my God, because he's got all the Infinity Stones, the DOJ, the Supreme Court. Okay, I'm going on.
Yeah. Avengers.
Anyway, yes, Marvel's Avengers. All the fellas have picked it up. We were hyped when we heard that PlayStation was offering Spider-Man exclusively. Many of us ran to pre-purchase.
How do you feel about that? Like, what's your thoughts on that? Because I know originally I was pre-ordering Avengers for the Xbox. And as soon as this news came out, I went immediately and changed it to Sony PlayStation.
Okay, so my situation was
people that don't have both systems, it doesn't seem fair. So I wanted to get your take on that.
Yeah, now my situation was different. All the reports that I'd read about the stuff we saw about the game. Remember, we were at first a little disenchanted with what we had heard about the game. So I was gonna buy it, but later, and so I didn't get on a pre-purchase train. And I was going to buy it for the Xbox because, as a rule, those of you listening, watching, those of you what we do typically, if you listen and watch the podcast, we typically go Xbox when it involves online play with the homies.
Right.
Single player exclusives, we do PlayStation. So everybody in the crew, pretty much most of us were a little on the fence, not so on the fence that we weren't going to buy Avengers, but we could wait. And if we did buy it, it would be for the Xbox so that we could, assemble with the homies.
Right.
But then they dropped that they dropped that bomb at Sony. I guess we should have really expected them to do it. I don't know why we didn't. As you all know, Sony owns the rights to it. It feels like Sony owns every bit of Spider-Man,
Yes.
whether it be movies and video games.
Yeah, they own the whole property.
Yeah. So if you want to, you be able to play Spider-Man on the Xbox. So for me, that was a wrap. And I instantly knew which one I was going to get it for. Now, it was the beta. I was just going to say, I was trying to decide what made me go ahead and pre-purchase. It was the fact that the beta was going to be available like a week early to those who pre-purchased. And then a pre-purchase would put you in the driver's.
Actually, 3 weeks early.
5 version, right?
Huh?
The pre-purchase, what did that afford you again? Like,
so when you pre-purchased, you got for PlayStation, you got access to the beta like 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah, something like that.
Of release date, and then after that, I think it was like Xbox or everybody, and then after that, it was like another week, and then a couple of days, or it was the Friday through Sunday window.
Right. So, we got on board with the PlayStation just for the most part because of Spider-Man.
Right.
Like, my son was like, "Are you gonna get it for the Xbox?" And he's 6. And I said, "No, I'm getting it for the PlayStation because the Xbox is not gonna. There's no Spider-Man on the Xbox." He looked at me. He's his 6-year-old. He's like, "What's a Marvel game without Spider-Man?" And I was like, "Even the babies know."
Right. My son was the same way. He's like, "Where's Spider-Man?" As soon as I got the Avengers game, he was like, "Where's Spider-Man?"
That's correct. The Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. 2021.
Yeah. So, say what you want. So that was our deal. And so we got in the beta, and the beta was what you expect for a beta to be. Just limited amount of game, but enough to where we was like, I'm glad I made this purchase.
Right.
So, fast forward to the release. Now, we had a few homies that was gonna get it, and then we had some, including Rowls and I, that jumped all in feet first with the $79.99 edition.
Correct.
But then we had others in the group who were still hell-bent on being Debbie Downers, as it were. And this is based upon the fact that the likenesses of Robert Downey and Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth and the like were not represented.
Right.
And it didn't help much that somebody did a little video where they had magically posed their faces. And we were really down in the dumps about how well it looked and how much better it would have been with those actual, actors, Scarlett Johansson.
They actually did that. I missed that one.
So you weren't on the text chain when that went out?
Yeah.
Go back and look at the fan video that somebody made of the Avengers footage using the actual actors and actresses from the.
Cool.
It made us sad that it could be done that easily, and it wasn't. But I tried to point out that you're looking at a lot of money if you're going to do that. That's money they don't have to spend.
Right.
And money that they don't have to try to make up for in sales, right? So anyway, that's another story. We had friends that were hating on it. It was hating, and but then the game dropped, and I don't know, man. I have to say, I'm immensely pleased with it. Now, there will be some out here. I've read a number of reviews that say, "Oh, it's repetitive. You know, IGN went on record to say, you know, things like repetitive and unrewarding. Or once you get past the campaign, which by the way is a well-written campaign.
It is.
Um,
I'm in the middle of it right now. Well,
it's
no,
excellent.
I only got 25% done in the campaign.
It's excellent. It's excellent. The story is great
Yes.
and believable.
The graphics are great too. I love the graphics. They've done a
Wonderful.
good job.
I don't see the issue. Now, I've been like both feet in to the point where I've got, you know, a couple of characters at max character level, not max power level, because you got to work to that. Pretty close though with one in particular, Iron Man.
Can you you know, for anybody out there that's confused about, can you make the distinction between
Sure. Okay. Sure.
and
Okay.
power level? And then you're probably going to school us on you know, this kind of game, because you gotta mine for rewards and gear and all that stuff. So yeah,
and that has to be touched on, as to not look at these reviews at face value all the time, because even though they're on these gaming sites, you feel like there would be an understanding as to how these games work. And I'm not saying that they're wrong at all about the things that they're saying as far as negatives, but you have to understand that the nature of these games, what they're complaining about is par for the course normally.
Right.
So let's get into that. So when we first heard about the game, we were under the impression, based on what they were saying, is that you wouldn't be necessarily able to play with the homies, you know, run with the homies, assemble with your boys or your girls or whoever. And we thought, well, that's whack. It's an Avengers game. You can't run with your folks. Like, that's terrible. But it those of you that are gaming enthusiasts, in this particular loot grinder kind of game, looter shooter as they call games of this type, typically when they're first person, but this type of game, typically you're able to, you know, get a group, fire team, squad, whatever they're called, based on the game, you know, comprised of people on your friends list online, whether that be your homies or whoever. And you can go out and knock out these missions and then grind for loot and upgrade your player, and such. And so these games have, as time has passed, have tended to incorporate a number of different genres into one. You have the shooter part, right? So you're out killing folks, just, you know, whatever, because they're all not shooting, but you know what I mean. Combat with foes and defeating foes and waves of enemies and such like. So you got that. You have the role-playing game aspect, which includes the accumulation and acquisition of gear to power up your character and going up levels. When I mentioned character level before, that was referring to how many levels you are. With each level, you get a skill point, a point that you can spend towards acquiring more skills and thereby making you more effective in the field. So after acquiring 50 levels, you know, you will have gotten enough skill points to fill out your entire tree of skills that you have available to. So that's your character level. Your power level is where everything, you know, that's where the rubber meets the road. So power level is really the level that you're most concerned with, and that can only be achieved by getting gear powered up. So the better your gear, the stronger you are. The perks that come on the gear that allow you to be more effective in the field, in addition to what skills you may have paid for by leveling up your character level. So, and with each, and this is standard system now with color coded gear. The weakest being white, the next best being color coded is green, blue, and then purple, and then gold, and then orange being the best. And so,
school me on that. Has that always been a?
No,
I'm not familiar with that color coding system.
Right.
Is that
Right.
across all games? Like
Well,
I would hear you talk about purple gear in Destiny or
yes.
that kind of deal.
Yeah,
Like that's
it's
all new to me and foreign to me. So like
yeah, they seem to kind of settled on like gray and white being standard,
right.
categorized as common.
Okay.
Green being categorized as like normal.
I see.
Blue being categorized as rare.
Okay.
What is it? Purple being categorized as can't remember what, elite or something like that.
Right.
Elite, then legendary, then exotic. Exotic seems to be the word that they've all started using to refer to that gear that you want. Many times in a lot of games, you can't wear more than one or two pieces of exotic gear at a time because it's so dope. And the perks that come on it are so game changing that to have, a full setup, orange armor would be OP, overpowered for those who don't understand
Right.
that terminology. So the same holds true here, but with each piece of gear, you can level up that piece. So if I get like a piece of level 3 gear or whatever, depending on the color, I can level that up a number of times, but you have to grind, and grind means just go out and kill and basically farm, collect stuff, resources that you can use to power up your gear. And forgive me if a lot of this is review for many of you who play these
Yeah.
types of games. I
Yeah.
want to make sure
Yeah.
that you.
I'm a rookie when it comes to the RPG.
Right. So
Because I'll get all this gear and I don't know what I'm doing with the gear. I'll power it up and everything, but like in terms of the color coding, I'm not even paying attention. I'm not even paying attention to the color coding
mhm.
unless
So
unless I read that like it's dope gear or whatever.
right, and so a lot of times when you have in games like this fusion of different genres, because then you got the adventure genre, right? I mean, you're out and doing quests,
Right.
and so these games are really interesting in that they really do fuse a number of different types of game into one, to where it's become its own genre now.
Right.
Loot shooter, but with RPG elements. So you have those like me who kind of grew up on RPGs, with the Final Fantasies and the Fantasy Stars and the Secret of Manas and the, Sword of Vermilions and all this stuff from back in the day. And um, you include in many types of games, like Division, for example, GoldenEye and Doom and stuff like the shooter kind of stuff.
That's
Destiny,
the school that I come from is like
right? And
GoldenEye,
so,
Halo, Call of Duty.
right.
It's not really about gear. It's about like just acquiring weapons.
Mhm.
I think Destiny was the first shooter that I felt like gear was important, where
Yes, it
you
is.
had to get exotic gear to become more effective in certain games or matches or whatever.
Like you can be really nice with the assault rifle, but it doesn't matter if yours is not good.
Right.
In these games, you're only as good as your tools.
Mhm.
Point blank, period. And so the same is true with this game. Like I said, that particular part of the element, the RPG and the gear acquisition and leveling up element, is finding its way into a number of games. I mean, we've seen it in fighting games, Mortal Kombat. Nether Realms instituted this concept in Injustice. So now I'm getting pieces for Batman and Superman, and
Uh, yeah.
I'm leveling that up, and you know what I'm saying. And so, this piece might be more effective against Kryptonians. This one is, it adds more damage. This one, gives me a perk that has, just all kind of stuff. And so, because they know that's what people like. The fact that there's always something to grind for ensures that they keep you engaged and that you'll always play their game.
Right.
And the microtransactions might be an issue also, which some of the reviews say they have a problem with, which I'm not sure that I don't understand why they do. None of the microtransactions that you can, I guess, engage in, for lack of a better term, can make your character better. They're just cosmetic
Where do
stuff.
you? It's funny. Now, this is me being a rookie on this. Where do you even go to purchase gear and stuff? Like, I don't see that. I guess it's down at the bottom or something like.
Yeah. So you don't buy gear.
Right.
It's mostly just skins.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's what I'm saying. So what people are upset about, I have no idea. No one, there's no rich guy out here buying up all the powering himself up and making
Right.
himself godly because he's gainfully employed. He's gonna have to grind just like the next person. You see what I'm saying? So I
And
don't understand.
also, I don't see the Avengers, the Avengers game, like throwing it in your face, like, oh, here's a store, you need to go
There's
buy
not.
this.
There's not. There's not.
Right.
There's not. You literally have to go in and then look at your, like, for example, like unlock skins that for Black Widow or whatever, and you want her to have like another cooler outfit. Well, if you haven't unlocked it, you got to go pay for it. It's
Right.
just, it's what it is. It's that kind of thing. It's nothing big. But the game itself, like I said, because it's of the type of game it is, the complaints that people have had that I've seen are referring to its repetitiveness. These games are typically repetitive. It's just what they are because you have to go out and grind repeatedly. And yes, they're going to be the same areas repeatedly, right? They're going to be the same planets on Destiny. They're going to be the same areas of town in the Division. It's just going to be the same. So to criticize early on, and this is just my opinion, to criticize the repetitiveness and I guess the lack of different areas to grind for gear and run missions is a bit premature, considering that they've got all the time in the world to add new content, new screens, new areas. I mean, this is the Marvel universe.
Right.
They can do that. They can go wherever they want.
Because
You gotta be
Marvel
patient.
universe is touching Avengers in some kind of way. It's always Avengers adjacent. You can always throw in Guardians of the Galaxy or Thanos or, I mean, heck,
They might
Black
throw
Panther.
Honda might be in there. I mean, you don't
Right.
know what they'll do. And to criticize that early, I've run in this same area, run it again. Because that's what it is. I don't know of any game, loot shooter or otherwise, that of this type, you don't find yourself running the same stuff over and over again. So I don't understand that criticism. The unrewarding, I guess, the aspect of it being unrewarding, I guess, is tied to that because it's repetitive. They feel like it's not rewarding. I kind of feel like it is. It's, in my mind, it's rewarding to me just because this is the game we've been looking for, right? We have been wanting to play a video game with your boys or your girls or whatever, with your favorite Marvel folks, man. How long we been on this? We slogged around in the Ultimate Alliance waters early on, but that was as good as it got. Now this, like you said, the graphics are great. The control is excellent. There are bugs now. They're well documented.
Right.
But if you look at a game of this magnitude, it's almost inevitable. And they're gonna drop this quality of life patch that is a update that I guess is gonna be.
I heard it's massive. I heard it's
huge.
massive. They're really looking at all the bugs and
Yes,
using
and
this
we've
update
seen
to
just about all of them between all of the homies. We've documented all the craziness because I was going down the list of the stuff that it's supposed to address, and I was like, "Yep, that happened to me. That happened to me. That happened to me also." But it doesn't take away from the joy I get from the blunt force trauma distributed by Thor in the street. I mean, there's nothing better. This game, man, is and you played it. Like, I don't know how much you played it, but what are some of the things you appreciate about actually suiting up as an Avenger and going out? Let's dwell on some of these positives rather than some of the negatives that I've seen out on the web.
Well, positives for me, just being a huge comic book geek, and being a Marvel Studios, like loving all the films.
Mm-hmm.
This is a substitute for the films I'm not getting this summer. And that's not. I'm being for real. Like,
no, that's real talk. Real
right.
talk.
And then once the coronavirus lifts, when it lifts, it's going to be an added. I think it's going to be an added positive. Once the movies come back, it's like, oh, Black Widow, like Another Captain America movie, Captain America's on here,
Mhm.
Um, and then the possibility that they have already promised that they're going to add more characters, and they keep throwing Easter eggs in there. It just it, it's like a comic book fantasy. Like, it's that's what I like about it the most. Um, I'm glad that they finally got the combat right, like to play with Thor and throwing the hammer, and like the hammer could stay on somebody and then you can call it back and all that stuff. So
It, that point you made right there,
right,
the remaining true to the comic and not trying to reinvent. This is the Thor
right,
I want.
yes,
Hammer Thor,
right.
long hair Thor,
I know where
fit
you're going with it. I know where you're going with it. Yeah,
Hulk,
right,
not burnt little arm Hulk. Hulk is, they are all perfectly done. If you read the comics, they're doing what you expect for them to do. And I'm talking about every single one of them. Now, I don't know enough about Ms. Marvel,
Miss
but
Marvel, great too.
it's
Uh,
apparent that she's comic accurate.
yes, all
But
of it is
she's
coming, and that's the other positive. I'm glad you touched on that. That was the
yes,
other positive I wanted to mention. They are mining from the source material, and that I mean, that's beautiful. Like, I mean, like even Hulk. I mean, they got Gray Hulk. They got Mister Fix It. You got the
the
you
little
know
suit that-
the gangster hat and the yeah, you see, that kind of
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
gangster
And they have the
suit.
Planet Hulk too.
They do.
They got the Planet Hulk Centurion.
Wow. Yes. Right.
Mhm,
Um, Iron Man, the different suits, like old school suit. They got
mhm,
the one that's like in the movie.
mhm.
Like
The
I
Scarlet
love
Witch.
all of that, man. It's just it they're mining from the source material, and they're putting like the comic books that are inside of it. I love that they're going back to the source material and putting something in there that goes, this is why we love this stuff in the first place. Before there was any video games, it was that book you got for
Mhm,
25 cents or 50 or
mhm,
75 cents,
mhm,
that you read and you were imagining these worlds now. And the fact that they're mining it is pretty cool. So
mhm,
that's the
mhm.
plus for me. Um, I've been dying for like a Superman, not to jump over from Marvel to DC, but like, you know, Rocksteady has finally given us that Batman game. Uh,
Mhm.
you can tell with Gotham Knights that they're probably going to be in this realm.
Yes, that you can expect a similar type of game.
Right. Right. So it's funny that Marvel put this out now. Like, I feel like their timing was strategic for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
because they couldn't have predicted a once in a century pandemic when they
True.
started production.
Right.
However, it's very fortunate and advantageous for them because, as you said, the game probably sold a little bit more because we couldn't go see Black Widow,
Right.
and you know, and I guess they're gonna put Thor. No, they're not. They can't because there's an order to it. So there'll be no Thor because there was no Black Widow. And so this is what we had. I mean, we don't even have the Disney Plus shows. We've gone over this ad nauseum, but this is our substitute
Right.
for somebody that will sit down and play 3-4 hours of a video game before I watch a 2-hour movie. It works for me.
Yeah.
But
And that's the other positive too that I wanted to list was, the campaign seems to be, the story is engaging, and that's
very
what we need right now. We need to be we need that escape. We need entertainment, and to have a campaign that's like well thought out, well written. I think that's very important.
yeah,
There's a lot of games that we've played where it's like, nope, campaign sucks. It's all about multiplayer, and
yeah.
this feels complete,
Mm,
to a certain degree,
mhm,
for me. I think the proof in the pudding is going to be how they're going to gonna flesh it out, and like, do they do like add-ons where you can be like West Coast Avengers, or like even get obscure and like I think there was like a Great Lakes Avengers or something like that. Like just little Easter eggs for the comic book reader.
Because they're already teasing those additions, right?
Right,
New characters and stuff like that. We can look forward to Kate Bishop's Hawkeye here pretty soon.
right,
Um, and they have such a a vast reservoir from which to draw.
right,
I mean, it doesn't have to end for a long time. And like I said, this is just like all the rest of the games. So, and again, just questioning the criticism on running, I guess, the same missions over and over again. I mean, we did it in Destiny. We did it. The same stuff over and over again. It's the same stuff over again in Division and games of that nature.
and
So
even in the first-person shooters, I mean, a lot of the missions we repeat the same missions over and over again.
same ones, the same daily, go out here and kill this many of these, or go out here and collect this many of these.
Do
It's
10
the same
headshots or whatever, you get this much XP.
right. And so the fact that you're complaining about this game is not groundbreaking by any means in the sense that it's a completely different game. Dog, this is the same game
Doesn't
as
need to
everything
be.
else. It's going to have seasons. It's going to have, these weekly objectives. They have daily objectives. This is the formula under which all games are built. And they just put a Marvel skin on it. That's all it is. They haven't reinvented the wheel. They just made the wheel one more reminiscent of the things we loved back in the day. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? They just skinned it with our favorite characters. And Gotham Knights is going to do the same thing. So get ready to complain about the same stuff. It's too early, right? They had to get something out there. I mean, and that's the beauty of online DLC. We'll get more if you're just patient. Um, you can't complain about the gameplay
Right.
whatsoever. And this is, like I say, I'm not talking about the bugs. I get it. I've seen them, and I've been frustrated on a number of occasions having a game lock up on me. I have to get into a bottom of a 6th-floor hive. I get it. I get it. But the gameplay is. I reference Anthem. That gameplay was the whole flying around in the mech suit or whatever. That was reminiscent of Iron Man. I swear they took what they did. I know they probably didn't, but it almost feels as if they took those controls and said, "This is how we're gonna make Iron Man and Thor operate."
Which is hilarious because when they first put the trailer out for Anthem, when they gave you the first look, we were like, Iron Man.
Yes, yes.
Like, why don't we have an Iron Man game and
let's do it?
let's play Anthem?
There it is, and it is wonderful. And I was concerned about how would characters with the ability to fly work with characters who
Or grounded.
don't have that ability.
Right.
But the abilities they gave them, their traversal abilities, amazing and true to the comics. Captain America, this dude, he can't fly.
Right.
Dude can run, and he can and I don't know if you played Titanfall. I used to run on the wall.
Right.
That's how he gets from place and he can double jump.
Okay.
He's real agile. So he's not gonna lag behind somebody that's flying at all. That dude is running. Black Widow has that grappling hook, she can just run and throw that thing, zip. Same with Ms. Marvel. She just got the Mr. Fantastic thing going.
Right.
And has his signature, jump, that 3-way bound he does, that 3-part jump, boom. He's just to the point where he's literally flying at one point.
Right.
Because you can coordinate 3 well-placed jumps right in a row. And if you get in a rhythm, you can just keep doing it.
Right.
He's covering mad ground. So it doesn't matter who you are, you can make up ground. And I was just concerned how would they keep that, keep them together and that dynamic. And you don't even have to be in the same place with whoever it is you're playing with if you're just out grabbing up chests in the area, opening up chests and getting gear
Right.
before going to the actual mission. So I mean, I've not been able to put the game down. Um, I've put in a lot of especially this weekend when I haven't had to get up and do anything. And so, I've been notorious for my ridiculously late hours. Um,
It's definitely a game
but
where
I'm not.
it's definitely a game where I feel safe. Like my son is 6 and he wants to just watch
Mhm.
me play Avengers. It's like a movie to him.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he'll
yeah. I
sit
can't keep my son out of my room
right.
because he won't stop watching. But I bought him a copy too, so he can go play. Just leave me alone.
Y'all assemble,
He,
father and son?
yeah, I told him. See, he's frustrated right now because. Okay, you know what? Let's get into that
Yeah.
since we are uh, men of an older age, advanced age when it comes to gaming, and the target demo is not typically us,
Right.
right?
Right.
But because of this property, I can't imagine. I mean, I feel like it is for us
It
based
is.
on what you're saying as far as the homage to the comics and the source material. Old comics too, when you're collecting them and they're showing you these old covers,
Right.
you know, John Byrne and everybody else, the
Yes.
artists. So the game, it's although it's rated, what is it rated? T for teen. Yeah, T for teen. Uh, it because my son is 6, it is clearly it's T for teen due to the intricacies that are involved with leveling up a character and the nuances. This isn't just a beat 'em up. So he gets frustrated because I can't just go out here and beat somebody up
Right.
and then the next screen. And so I don't know if he's quite ready to join, jump in the campaign. But to your point, they can watch and enjoy.
Right.
And the game is going to have a shelf life, a long one. So I figure in about maybe a year and a half, 2 years, he'll be down to go.
Right. And then especially when they bring on Spider-Man, that brings
That's what
new energy
that,
to the game.
right. He'll be down to go.
Right.
And maybe he will have, learned some things and gotten better. And like you said, it's a game that you don't have to, wait till the babies go to sleep to play.
Right.
Like I can't play Division. There's a lot of violence and a lot of profanity
Right.
around him. I got to make sure that he's not walking in, or if I'm playing, got my headset on so he can't hear the dialogue because it's
Right.
it's it's some bad dialogue on Division. You'd be man,
Yeah.
it's up there. It's up
Like
there.
person and yeah.
Yeah, it's up there with Grand Theft.
Right.
It's up there with Grand Theft. So that's a good thing. So it's family friendly in that respect. Now, it's also family friendly in the sense when you're out in the field, you can actually pause the game if you have to get
Yeah.
up and take the trash or help the wife with the
Right.
groceries or fix food
Fix
for the
dinner.
kids.
Yeah.
Do something. You can stop. Now I don't know if that's the case in a group. That's only if you're single player. I think if you're in a group, this stuff is going to continue to go on.
Right.
Division is not like that, man. I don't care if you're in a group. If you're not in a group, if you're out in the street and you stop, you might come back face down.
Right.
In that regard, and I've always hated that. I prefer my online games to give me the alternative to pause when I'm the only one playing, because that would mean I have my own instance of a particular area,
Right.
and so we can suspend play. I've never understood that about games, that you can't suspend play.
Right.
Um, Now, I guess that has a lot to do with, because a friend of yours can just see you online and just jump in your group without you asking. So I guess that's what they're trying to prevent. But I don't know. That's not possible, I don't think, in Avengers. I think you have to wait for them to finish whatever it is they're doing. Because I believe I've had a few friends try to join me in the middle of something and could not
Right.
get it and reassemble. I think.
And I enjoy that. That's another positive with the game. Um, you know, I work a lot, so I don't get to play as much as maybe you. Like you already got Iron Man up to like what 140 power level or whatever. What is it?
On it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's-
like I'm still at 20. So it's rewarding that I can play with the homies and then I can level up while I'm playing with the homies.
That's correct.
So that's pretty cool.
That's the idea.
Instead of just, I mean, of course I need to do it myself, but
Mhm.
you get there faster if you're playing with the homies.
Yeah. And the
So,
campaign is tricky.
because you're
You
getting
can
help, you're getting
Yeah.
help as well. So
Yes, you can join a friend in the campaign, but the story is so intricately written that if the story at that moment calls for Iron Man to be on a solo mission, I can't with Thor because you're not that part of the story where Thor has made an appearance or whatever.
right,
So, but if if you're Miss Marvel and Bruce Banner and you're playing with Miss Marvel and I have Hulk and I can jump in and I
right,
can, you know, so it that takes a lot of work to kind of understand because there's a lot of room for bugs there,
right,
certainly. Like,
right,
they make sure that it's locked down enough to where you can't exploit enough. I'm gonna bring my 140 Iron Man before you even get him, and we're gonna burn the place up.
right.
You have to stay within the confines of the story, and that's why they encourage you when you first turn on the game. Finish the campaign. Like it'll say, don't go to the Avengers Initiative, which is the multiplayer, because you might run into some spoilers, and there's going to be some hindrances as far as your
Power level.
experience. Right, you're not going to be, you're not going to have anybody. So um, I don't know, man. I'm excited about the game. I enjoy it a lot. Like I said, it's a very family friendly game. So those of you who are in our age group and have the same fatherly and husbandly responsibilities, this is for you. It's a game you can kind of pick up and put down at any time. But if you want to spend some time, doing the typical grind and you got some of the homies on, go ahead and do that too. So, like I said, there's not much to say about this game because again, it is a direct carbon copy of other games in its genre, other than the fact that it has Avengers slapped across the front. Um,
And I like the fact that they introduce the diversity and it feels organic too with the introduction of Miss Marvel being
yeah, it didn't feel
or
forced. No, it didn't feel forced at all.
right. And that was it felt very organic in in playing the campaign when you get through her story, she explains about the Muslim culture, that kind of deal. And
Mhm.
I really appreciate that. I mean, I even bought they have action figures now based on the Avengers game. I bought my daughter a Miss Marvel action figure. Uh, and she sees it on the video game too, and she connects with it. So
Mhm.
I just I like the possibility that this game brings. We've always talked about before. I mean, jumping over to DC again, we've always talked about having like a Green Lantern core game. Like, how
Mhm.
dope would that be? Where you can level up different, you can have so many different Green Lanterns, to play in a game or that kind of deal. So, um, just the possibility that you could have these ensemble games that you can literally explore comic and movie universes in one shot. Like there's
Mhm.
some, it's so rich with source material now that you can pull from. Um,
Mhm.
so, so I'm hoping there'll be more games like this that come out.
Yeah.
Whether you like RPG or not, like I'm willing. I'm not necessarily an RPG guy, but I'm willing to dive in if it's giving me the other elements and doing that well. You know,
Yeah, because it's really not an RPG, really. Like as
but
you
the
said, it
elements
just
are heavy, though. I will say that the elements are heavy where I have to pay attention to.
yes.
Um, oh, that was the other thing too about that. Not to prolong this, but
Mhm.
the combat system, like even in blocking, you gain points and it's also effective when you're fighting, hordes of the waves of enemies.
Yes.
So
Everybody's different.
right, like I
Mhm.
love Iron Man's energy shield, where like
Mhm.
and the countering system and all that stuff
Yeah.
is similar to Arkham
Yes.
Knight in terms of like the counters and stuff like that, and then the
Yeah.
finishing moves, the circle and the triangle. I love all
Yeah.
that. So
Here's something else for my RPG heads that they did, and they snuck it in there.
uh-huh.
For those of you that play them, there's the classes, right? You usually got your ranger slash hunter, you got your rogue, you got your tank,
I
you
know
got
where
your
you're going with this.
paladin,
Yes.
you got your healer, you got your mage. You know what I'm saying? You got all that, right? This game, while you don't have that, they've kind of
The
put them in
character.
the categories on the low,
Right.
right? Clear that Hulk is the tank. The dude, I mean, he's the one that draws aggro, and what that means to all my RPG heads means you're getting you're taking all the attention from the mobs from those who would be more frail, as it were. So he can take the hits. So then everyone else can focus fire onto the enemies, right?
Right.
The Hook is that dude. Everybody come over here. He's smashing up stuff. He's hard to
Excuse me.
kill.
Sorry.
He's not healing. Bless you, bro. He's not healing anybody. He's just busting up stuff and taking down. And you hit him, and he
Right.
gets life. Like you hold the rage button down, and he's getting life as he's pummeling people.
Right.
That's like the real stuff. Like the angrier he gets,
Right.
the more dangerous he is. And the way they incorporated that and made him a traditional tank in RPGs is genius. Whereas Thor is what they call in these RPGs, from what I'm able to after having level Thor up a little bit, he appears to be the equivalent of a paladin in those games. Um, he a lot of blunt force trauma, uh, and he's able to buff his party members with the Odin force.
Right.
So he's enhancing the abilities of others while able to take damage, while not dealing as much as the Hulk can potentially. So he's a step under in terms of might, but not much. I mean,
Right.
he's almost right there. But the element of him being able to buff other people, grant them invulnerability, uh, heal them, get their willpower back up, recharge their intrinsic energy, just all that stuff that he's doing because he's a god of thunder. They've made him a paladin. Um, Black Widow almost feels like the rogue class, fast, sneaky, going in viz, quick hitters, shot with little guns, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
that would be knives or stuff like that, in the
Right.
equivalent of old fantasy game. So she's that, like she's the rogue, real fast, quick hitters, not a lot of damage, but she has the potential to render you immobile, right? With little tricks and tactics. So she's like the rogue. Um, Iron Man, strangely enough, is the mage. And typically a wizard or a mage has tons of different spells, right? They might have cold spells, earth, fire, all this stuff. Well, that dude is like that. All his stuff is range. Stuff is all range. He don't typically want to mix it up. He doesn't want to get in the middle very much. And his block is not such that you can hold it. You have to perfectly time it
Yes.
so where you can get people off of you to create some space to be able to shoot repulsor blasts, lasers, and rockets. He relies on distance fighting,
Hmm.
and so he can fly and get space when he needs to.
Shoot the lasers from the gauntlet.
Yes, evasive maneuver and such like and things like that. Now, Captain, I don't. It's hard to say what category Captain falls into, as far as a class that I'm familiar with. He's
Is he kind of like Black Widow in a sense?
well, but in a way, but he's much more defensive in that he can protect himself. He's a very defensive dude. He's the
Right.
only dude that can hold a shield, just hold his shield up and not have to like really time it. He can just hold it there and just block all kind of stuff. But that's where his energy, like when fire weapons or do something like that, expend offensive energy.
Right.
They're in that's how they expend their energy. He expends his energy defending himself. Throwing his shield doesn't cost any energy. None
Right.
of the moves does cost energy. But blocking, he's really agile. Um, he has supportive stuff that helps his crew too, but not to the degree that Thor does. Right?
Right.
Crazy. He's not really a class that I can identify right off the bat. Those of you listening, if you got an idea of what you think he falls into as far as a category, let me know. But he feels more like the Mario of the game. Right? He's that dude that can kind of do everything.
Right.
He can defend, he can fight, he's fast, he's defensive, he's elusive, he's got excellent offensive power. I mean, not to the degree of Hulk, but certainly matching the damage output of Iron Man, and certainly surpassing the damage output from Black Widow because she's more of a quick strike kind of person. So it's hard to say what Cap is, other than that he's real fun to play with. And if you like defense and running it, slamming, throwing the shield and kicking it and bouncing it off people, like all the tricks, then
Right.
he's fun to play with. And then same with Miss Marvel. I don't know what to categorize her as. She's really an enigma. Her character is very strange. Um, but she has real decent damage output and some really effective evasive maneuvers. And I particularly like her traversal method. So I don't know what you.
It's funny. I would think she would be more in the mage category based on what you said about Iron Man.
Yeah,
She has the high five where she's pushing you
yeah, a lot
back.
of range. Yeah,
But
long
when
arm.
she does it in big and stuff, it's like you want to
Yeah,
use her, and she kind of takes on the Hulk in that way too. It's like
yeah,
when you get that big, you just want to just like clear as many enemies out as you can during
yeah,
that state. You know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But they seem to try to sneak that stuff in for the RPG heads out here. And I think it's well done, man. I don't, I don't understand the negatives that are being against it. Um, Especially considering that, man, these are characters we love and we couldn't wait. And again, yeah, you fight the same dudes over and over again, but like I said, that's as easy as an update, an expansion.
Yeah, and I'm curious how they're gonna like as they add new characters because they have the title screen where all the like as you unlock the characters, they're all standing in the I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
the
yeah,
helicarrier bay
yeah.
or whatever.
Hmm.
So when they add new characters, I wonder how are they gonna like are they gonna rotate it and then that character is like standing off to the side or something like that, or you have
They'll,
other
that
teams.
or they'll push them back out to where you can fit more of them in there,
Right.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that'd be
Or
cool.
they might just have the originals or the last few people you had on your fire team or something. Who knows how they'll make it work because there's more money. They're gonna make
Right.
it work.
Right.
Make it work.
See. I would love to have characters like Luke Cage or like Daredevil. I mean, heck, have the Defenders in there. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think
Jessica
do you,
Jones.
do you think it's problematic to have the game be called Avengers and they just pull from that aren't the Avengers? You see
Well,
what I'm saying? Like,
see, what's interesting is, um, I'm taking the view of like there's Justice League, like you got the big seven. So there's a big kind of you got your big seven with the Avengers, but there's these characters that become part of the Avengers, like Ant-Man or
yes.
um, Captain Marvel or Hawkeye and
Mhm.
so and I think
Yeah.
Luke Cage was part of the Avengers at one point. They can pull from the comic
Yeah.
if you got deemed an Avenger at one point,
You can come on in.
You can come on in. And
So
I
that,
hope that they're taking that approach.
yeah, so that leaves like Cyclops and people like that out.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Nightcrawler and
Yeah. We need an X-Men game separate from Avengers, which would be dope.
Yes, sir. Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Crystal Dynamics need to get on that too.
get on that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then cross them two games, cross them over.
Oh man, that would be dope. That'd be dope.
Yeah. So yeah,
Massive undertaking, but it would be dope.
yeah. They doing everything else. Why not?
Right.
Why not? But I mean, if I were to rate it, man, if you're talking about 1 to 10, man, I give it an 8.5, and that's just understanding.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, just some of the just understanding the things that come with a game of this magnitude, and sad. Unfortunately, this is the era we live in as far as gaming is. Man, bugs are just a part of the thing, man.
Right.
When they're this big and this, it's just part of the thing. And sometimes I wonder if it's really doing the job that it proposes to do. Because I didn't see any of those issues. I didn't see any of these issues that I ran into in the beta.
Right.
And these aren't load balancing issues that we're seeing. This is just bug stuff. Flying.
I will say that is I wouldn't necessarily call it a negative, but I know it does take the load screen, which I like the different character animations. It takes a minute for it to load.
They cycle through all the Avengers at least 1.5 times before you. But that's supposed to be one of the quality of life fixes, addressing loading time issues.
Right.
So
I don't mind it because the graphics look so dope. And I understand, well, they got to load these dope graphics,
It gets frustrating after you've died a couple of times.
Exactly. Yes.
What am I going to sit through these animations again?
Right.
So
old dude like me will fall asleep during one of those load screens. Right.
But 8.5.
Right.
Now that campaign,
8.5.
that campaign, just from story alone, man, I give it a strong 9.5. That campaign is excellent.
I like it so far. Yes.
Oh man, I was just, and how just the whole assembly of the crew was excellent, man.
Yeah,
it was excellent, man.
And you're not spoiling anything, but you were telling me to wait for it. They hint at stuff in the future.
Yeah, man, that could possibly go if they wanted to do that.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, can't spoil it for Mr. 1%, y'all. Y'all just have to play the campaign and get at me, online. Hit the DM out on the Facebook group. You know what I'm saying? We'll discuss ad nauseum if you're curious and you've passed the campaign. So yeah, man, I think it's Look, I like the game, and we've come a long way from that showcase, the very first sneak peek into what the game was going to be, because we were less than enchanted with the character design and what they were putting forth as the premise of the game. I'm thinking, bro, you can't put that out. You can't put out no Avengers game, and we can't play together.
I'm glad you mentioned that. This is not to open up another discussion, but I think props to them for I always appreciate businesses or video game companies that pivot when they get provided a challenge. Like they had the challenge of, people saying, "Oh no, I don't like them likenesses and all this stuff." But what they did was they created content that they put out on YouTube, and they said, "Hey, we're going to tell you more about this game, educate you about this game."
Yes.
And, I mean, like full on hours of content going like, this is what we're trying to do with the game. These are the things that we're putting into the game. These are the things we're going to put in the future. These are going to be the things that we're going to tweak. And that sold me on buying the game. When I saw that, I was like, you got my money, because you're actually explaining to me what the product is. And I really appreciate that from Crystal Dynamics, for sure.
Yeah. We're 2 for 2, Sonic, and now the Avengers.
Right.
Oh, 3 for 3. Snyder Cut.
Well, we haven't seen the
Fancy
Snyder
folk.
Cut yet. We haven't
You
seen the Snyder Cut yet, though. We haven't seen the Snyder Cut yet, so
It's gonna be all right.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Anything will be anything will be an improvement
You're right. Anything.
over the Whedon cut.
One shot of Black Suit Superman, all is forgiven.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, man. If you have purchased the Avengers, let us know what you think. If you have not and you're on the fence, I would say give it a shot.
Yes.
I would say give it a chance. Even if you don't like the game right now, these games are such that when the new season drops and expansions come out or updates come out, it may make you come back and glad that you had the game. Put that
If you're
thing
a comic book lover and a gamer, like this game is perfect.
Yeah, you gotta get it, man. Don't dwell on these negatives, man. You're gonna have some bugs, and yeah, there's gonna be some times where those bugs make you really mad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's gonna be a problem, but it's not enough to wipe away the joy that I have with this game. It just doesn't. So, go to your local retailer and pick it up. You won't regret it. Even if just the fact that you get to play with the heroes. Now if you don't like the whole leveling grind and all of that, like if you don't like that type of game, you might want to. But if you're playing any of these other looter shooters or whatever, man, you absolutely need to get this.
Right.
You have to hate this genre before I would accept you just give it a shot, right? Like, give it a shot.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And hit us up out there on patreon.com/EST1982 podcast. The Facebook group is always lively out there. The website is lovely, EST1982 podcast.com, to listen to what we've been talking about. We're back in the building, y'all. We're back in the building. And we got some more content for you. Stay tuned for other we want to talk about we're gonna touch on some of this DC. We haven't had an opportunity to talk about the fandom, but so we'll stay tuned. We want to talk about that because we're very excited. We've mentioned Gotham Knights in passing here today without actually talking about our excitement for this type of game, but over in the DC realm. So stay tuned for that. And again, hit us up, EST1982podcast.com, patreon.com/EST1982 podcast. If you would like to pledge your financial support as well as the support you're provided with your time. And again, until next time, people, we'll holler at you.